right, and welcome to this special episode of Real Estate Fight Club. This is a series called What Would You Do, where we talk about professional standards committee cases and code of ethics violations. Here with me today is Rachael Real from Rachael Real Estate in Chicago.
Good morning. Good morning, Jennifer. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
What is the case we're talking about today?
Today, we're going to talk about Article 12 as it relates to advertising free market analysis and free services.
Quote.
So, right, I'm saying
free.
this in quotes, right, because there was an update to the Code of Ethics recently.
Oh, joy. That added more rules.
Well, now you can no longer say as a buyer's agent or any type of agent really, but buyer's agent is more common. You can no longer say that your services are free unless you are absolutely not paid by anyone at any point throughout the transaction. We all know that when you are representing a buyer as a buyer's agent, a lot of people traditionally have said, hey, my services are free, so hire me and my services are free. Well, they're not free because you're still paying for those as part of a transaction, and that agent is still getting paid.
True.
So stop saying free. It's not free. I think it's free.
Not free. You're not a volunteer.
And let's be honest. I mean, how are we supposed to raise the bar and the perception of our value as agents by saying everything
if it's free?
It's not.
What does that have to do with a free CMA?
Well, we'll talk about this in this case.
Okay.
Excuse me. Okay, so Realtor A advertised on his website as follows: free market analysis with no obligation, which, I mean, we see this all the time. Let's be honest.
Sounds okay.
Right. A property owner complained about Realtor A's attempts to solicit the listing, and the complaint was referred for a hearing before a hearing panel of the Professional Standards Committee. At the hearing, the property owner testified he had called Realtor A to have him prepare that free market analysis of his residential property with no obligation, as claimed in Realtor A's ad.
It's a lot of air quotes happening today.
Well, that was the quote actually in these articles.
Oh, it was a quote.
No obligation.
Okay, I got
you.
Yes,
no obligation.
Okay.
As claimed in Realtor A's ad. However, the property owner said that when he and Realtor A spoke, he explained that he would be glad to provide the market analysis, but said, quote, I presume you understand that when we provide this service, we also expect that if you list your property, you will permit us to serve you.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I guess, in all reality, the agent's being very straightforward and very transparent. I'm giving you this, but I'm also expecting that if you decide to sell, you're going to use it.
That's not the deal. Okay, go ahead.
It's not the deal. Right. That wasn't in the ad. Although if you put that in the ad, no one's calling you, let's be honest. Property owner testified that Realtor A did not press the matter at the time and did provide the market analysis. The property owner told the panel that for the next 3 weeks, Realtor A or one of his representatives called practically every single day, soliciting the listing of his home. The property owner testified that on several occasions, someone from Realtor A's office reminded him that Realtor A had provided a, quote, valuable free service, and we feel that you owe us the listing of the property.
Oh, no.
Yeah, now we're getting a little ballsy. Realtor A responded that he had provided the, quote, free market analysis as represented in his advertising and had provided it, quote, with no obligation. I'm not sure how that jives with the, if we give this to you, we're also going to ask you to give us the listing for your property.
Feels like an obligation.
Doesn't quite jive. Right, it does feel quite like an obligation. He stated that he had neither asked for nor received a fee for the market analysis. He could not understand why he was required to appear before a hearing panel in connection with allegations of a violation of Article 12 of the Code of Ethics. The hearing panel noted that offering premiums or prizes as inducements or the advertising of anything described as, quote, free is not permitted by the Code of Ethics. While Realtor A was free to advertise, quote, free market analysis with no obligation, such a representation was not a, quote, true picture of the terms and conditions of the offer and were not clearly disclosed in the ad or representation. Hearing panel noted that the statement by Realtor A when he provided the, quote, free market analysis, that it was, quote, presumed the property owner would list with the Realtor A if the property was offered for sale, and the subsequent, quote, reminders by sales representatives of Realtor A about the expectation made the representation less than a true picture.
Right.
The panel noted that the property owner did not have a clear, thorough, advanced understanding of what would occur at the time of the offer was made. So, was Realtor A in violation of the Code of Ethics Article 12?
But I don't think that offering a CMA itself is the violation. I think him collapsing the obligation of list with me if you decide to list is the violation.
Right. If you look at it as a whole, you're looking at the fact that the advertisement that was placed by Realtor A was not a true picture. So all of the terms and conditions.
Only for his case, though, because I
Yes, for
think
this
when
particular
people,
case.
because a
Right.
lot of people, like if you're listening and you offer a free CMA, you may ask, I mean, you're going to ask them like, hey, if the pricing is good, are you thinking of selling, right? Like you're going to have
Right.
some
And
additional questions.
right. Any agent would, but I think in this particular case, because that was from the agent standpoint, that was a clear obligation that the agent was putting on the client, and that was his understanding. He did not relay that accurately in his advertisement.
Yeah. Let's
We'll take a quick break.
Yeah,
And then we'll
quick
come
break.
back.
Let me talk to you about two of our partners. So two of our favorite partners. One is my coach, Coach John Kitchens. And we were talking about, and we've been getting questions from people about like, what should I do for marketing and what, all these things. And really what he decided is he's going to provide us a clarity report. So if you go to coachcodeclarity.com, you'll be able to get this free clarity report. And once you do this work and get clear about what it is, what are your goals, what do you need to do to get there, then it'll be a lot easier to say no to all these squirrels and shiny things that head our way. Squirrel. My other favorite partner is Cyberbacker. So we have been working with our Cyberbacker, Frances, for a while. She's great. And if you are looking for a way to leverage yourself, if you're not ready for a full-time assistant in-house, I would definitely check out a VA, which is a virtual assistant. So go to cyberbacker.com, input Fight Club, and you will get a special prize. All right. Can you read me the code again?
Yes. So Article 12 states, realtors shall be honest and truthful in their real estate communications and shall present a true picture in their advertising, marketing, and other representations. Realtors shall ensure that their status as real estate professionals is readily apparent in their advertising, marketing, and other representations, and that the recipients of all real estate communications are or have been notified that those communications are from a real estate professional. We take it a step further. Standard of Practice 12-1 says realtors must not represent that their brokerage services to a client or customer are free or available at no cost to their clients unless the realtor will receive no financial compensation from any source for those services. So I think when you look at this particular case, this was that Standard of Practice 12-1 was amended in January of 2022 because you can no longer advertise your services as free.
Right.
So even in this case, this agent said, okay, I'm going to offer this for free, but I'm also going to put on the expectation on the client that if I provide this, they're giving me the business. Therefore, now it's no longer free. It's not free anymore.
Right.
Because you're doing it with an obligation for return business.
I think the issue is, for me, it sounds like the issue is not the free part. The issue is the advertising, the no obligation. So
right.
I guess
let's look at Standard of Practice 12-3.
Huh?
Because we'll look at Standard of Practice 12-3, which addresses this particular situation.
Okay.
So that says the offering of premiums, prizes, merchandise discounts, or other inducements to list, sell, purchase, or lease is not in itself unethical, even if the receipt of the benefit is contingent on listing, selling, purchasing, or leasing through the realtor making the offer.
Okay.
So that part is not unethical.
That's not the problem.
Right. However, here's where it comes in. Realtors must exercise care and candor in any such advertising or other public or private representations so that any party interested in receiving or otherwise benefiting from the realtor's offer will have a clear, thorough, advanced understanding of all the terms and conditions of the offer. The offering of any inducements to do business is subject to the limitations and restrictions of state law and the ethical obligations established by any applicable standard of practice. So therein lies the problem. 12-3 is the sweet spot.
That seems like the problem. But it makes me think of a further question of like, okay, well, what are common inducements, right? Like this isn't really that common. I feel like agents use this to get into relationship with
Right.
sellers, but I don't
Yes.
really think, and like as a lead magnet or to generate leads, I don't really
Right. They
think
do it as
that.
a means to an end.
Yeah, I really don't think that most agents are like then hounding them and being crazy because they don't know how to follow
No.
up. So I'm pretty sure that's not happening.
Right, right.
But it
This particular agent looked for this workaround to say, "Hey, well, I'm gonna offer this as a free service,"
right.
but with an expectation that wasn't clear. It wasn't made clear to the end to the seller in this case.
But I wonder though, like in the state of Illinois, so it says that you're
Yeah.
allowed to offer. I was surprised that when you read that. It says you're
Right,
allowed
and
to
this is the
offer.
code of ethics, not license law too. This is still
Oh,
the code of ethics.
so
Yeah,
maybe my question anyway, okay, so it says by state. So in Illinois where you're at, it
right.
that code of ethics said that offering like compensation or a prize or whatever is not in and of itself a problem, but is
Right.
according to Illinois it is?
No, I believe no, because if the code of ethics allows it, the code of ethics is national, but license law in Illinois does not prohibit that
But
either.
then couldn't you be like, "Hey, if you bring me a customer, unlicensed person, and I'll give you $50 if they
That you
close."
cannot do
But
because
it
they have to be a licensed individual in order to receive any compensation for a referral.
read
So the
that
only thing
one.
you can do, well,
Uh-huh.
and this is again, this is code of ethics. You're unable to compensate an unlicensed person for a referral. That is a state of Illinois license law requirement. So that's
That's the state of
another
Illinois.
document. That's the state of Illinois license
So
law,
that's
right?
the issue there because the code of
Right.
ethics says you can. I mean, you can, that's what it says, but the
Well,
state of
it
Illinois is
to the
like you
person.
can't.
So, well, it's two different things because one you're talking about paying for a referral. This one you're talking about I'm talking with you as a seller, and
Okay,
I'm
so if
saying,
you
hey,
list with
if you
me.
work with me, I'll give you this incentive. I'll give you this percentage off. I'll give you the use of my moving van, whatever it might be.
So you're allowed to do that.
You're allowed to do that, right?
So
Because
you
they're a party to the transaction.
so you can say,
You can't.
"Hey, if you list with me, I'll give you a $50 gift card."
Yes, you can do that as long
Oh,
as you're very clear of what you're doing, right? Because that's a party to the transaction. The referral is a non-party to the transaction.
okay. It seems like semantics.
No, or else you'd have a whole lot of people trying to benefit from getting referral fees.
Okay, so
Yeah, unlicensed people cannot be paid money for referrals.
why not?
That's the license law does not allow
Yeah,
it.
but why? What's the spirit of the law? Like, why? What's the problem?
That's a good question. I don't know what the reason behind it is.
When
Just
I'm
that
the
it's a
czar, we're
that
gonna
it is a
look at it.
violation.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yes.
Rachel, if people have a referral for you in Chicago, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
Best way to reach me is by cell phone at 630-542-8688 or on Facebook or Instagram at Rachael Real Estate.
Boom. All right. Thanks, Rachel.
You are welcome.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a podcast.